your videos need purpose. Because, at the end of the day, who's going to care? No one's going to care if you make a video about something unless there's something in it for them.
The very fact that I know more about that business than the other one will make me pick that business.
You don't know what it's going to be that's going to get someone over that line.
Yeah.
All you do know is that the more you do, the better quality it is, and the more useful and valuable it is to people, the more likely that is to happen. Creating and publishing video content for your business has never been easier. But let's be honest, most people are doing a rubbish job of it. In a digital world bursting at the seams with low quality, boring and overly salesy content, one filmmaker from the northeast of England decided enough was enough. Join Alex Wardle and his special guests as they discuss how to create truly effective video and start connecting with your audience on a much deeper level. Welcome to the Grow Your Business with Video podcast. Hello and welcome to the Grow Your Business with Video podcast, the show for business owners and marketers who want to use more effective video content. I'm your host, Alex Wardle, and I am joined by production assistant at Artifact Media, Naomi Watson. How's it going?
Hi Alex, it's going well. This time I'm bearing a different cat on my lap.
You are.
To the last episode.
It's a slightly fatter and quite a bit noisier one, this one.
She's very goodly though.
She's very goodly. And actually, funnily enough, the whole us having our pet cats in our podcast kind of ties quite nicely into what we're going to talk about today, isn't it?
It does.
Because we're going to talk about purpose in your videos and making sure that your videos have a purpose so that they are effective from a marketing perspective, but not putting the pressure on yourself to think, oh my God, every video that I create now has to be like strategized and needs to have a spider diagram created for it and all the rest of it.
That's not quite what we're saying. We will go into it, but what we're saying is even those small videos, for instance, a cat sitting at your desk, giving that video some purpose and like giving it a reason to be, worthy of being watched, and like how it interlinks with the whole web and suite of videos that you will have that help to build you and build your brand and sell your products and services.
Absolutely, definitely, yeah. So hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll feel more confident in creating content more regularly and not giving yourself that pressure of thinking, oh, but all my videos need to be like super planned out. And you'll be creating more content, but ultimately they will have purpose and they will be moving your customers down their particular journey with you in some way or form. Just to kind of, before we delve into this, Norms, listeners of the pilot episode will remember that I told the wee story about my time working for a particular company when I first set up my video production business, Artifact Media, and how crap it was, because I was constantly sat behind the camera with my headphones on, staring at the screen, listening to people drone on about rubbish, pointless stuff, and thinking, oh my God, no one's going to watch this video, no one's going to care. And this is exactly the problem that I think we're trying to address here, is that your videos need purpose. And the problem that we were facing back then was that these videos were being created and the briefs were being drawn up purely on the basis of, we want to sell this product or service, or we want to promote this business. And it never got any more in depth than that. And it was very like one-dimensional.
Thinking that just one video will work, will do the job.
Absolutely,
One video doesn't often do the job.
No, very rarely, in fact. The purpose in their minds for the people who were coming up with these videos was literally, it didn't go any further beyond promote the business. Well, really, if we want to create effective video and we really want this content to be doing stuff for us, we need to think a little bit more deeper than that. Because at the end of the day, who's going to care? No one's going to care if you make a video about something unless there's something in it for them, which is why you can get away with taking videos and photos of cats and putting them on Instagram. Okay, so we'll start with that then. Naomi, what's your take on putting your video content, which is like, I suppose you could call it informal, colloquial. It's kind of rough and ready. It's quite throwaway, perhaps humorous, slightly entertaining, and maybe even not even massively relating to your business. What would be the point in creating and sharing content like that?
So I would hate people to jump to the conclusion to think that absolutely everything they do in their life should be, put on video and, put out there.
Shared with everyone.
And shared with everyone. Not everything has to be. Yes, you want to draw a nice, clear, authentic picture of who you are so people can get to know you, then like you, then trust you. And I think you can pick certain things which do add to that your own brand, rather than just pictures and of yourself all the time, always talking to the camera. People aren't always ready for and don't always want to watch completely in depth and serious things. They do just want to YouTube videos started from fun of cats doing silly things,
still are.
yeah, exactly.
Someone actually said to me the other day, a client of mine said, I feel like I've achieved something if I watch more than a minute of Instagram videos. If a Instagram TV video pops up and she watched more than a minute of it, she was like, wow, this is really good. That's just a minute.
Yeah.
A single minute.
Yeah. I think the value in sharing those little videos, whatever you decide, you decide that you want to share certain stuff of your pets and maybe your fitness regime, but definitely not your family. I'm not saying that's for everyone. Some people might literally want to share their family values because it makes them happy and it builds on their brand. You don't have to share everything, but I think these videos do have purpose because they begin to help build a picture and help build your personal brand for a potential customer or ideal client to get to know you, especially when it's a service. It can be quite scary to hire someone for something and you don't know what they're going to be like or anything, and so you don't know whether it's worth spending the money. But if you really have gotten to know them and know what they're going to be like, then and just sometimes even to have that that little funny thing to talk about, oh my god, your cat did such a funny thing the other day.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times, joking apart, that clients and people have said to me oh my god, your 3 cats are hilarious, and you must have a madhouse and all this, and I forget that people remember that stuff really well, because everyone loves animals. And they love seeing stupid funny videos of them and stuff, and I forget that it's such a thing. But what you said to me just before we started recording was that in a way they act as mascots,
that's what I said.
which I think is a good word for them. They're mascots for your brand, and they're another reason for people to be interested in you. But for us, for some people, people who hate cats, who should stop listening to this podcast right now if that's the case. But those type of people, they might not get anything particularly from that type of content, and that's fine. I'm not saying that I only want to work with people who like cats, but you can apply the same concept as you've alluded to anything, can't you? So when you were speaking, the first thing I thought of was personal trainers. So we've worked with loads of personal trainers before, making videos for them, and without wanting to cause offense to anyone, because this is the same in any industry. I'm just picking personal trainers as an example, but really they all do the same thing, don't they? Personal trainers are there to help you get fitter and healthier and all the rest of it, and they do that by showing you exercises and coaching you and giving you meal plans and all the rest of it. Just in the same way as someone like me, 2 video producers do the same thing. Videographers, filmmakers, whatever you want to call them. They show up with cameras, they film you, they put videos together. Yeah?
On the surface.
Yeah, exactly. What differentiates them, though, all things being equal, is their personality. Yeah. And how they choose to share themselves and their lives and the people in their lives and all the rest of it with the world.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, as you've said, it's important for people to put their personalities front and center. And by that, I mean sharing things like, you know, the cat videos and stuff like that, you know, because in a way that is part of your personality, isn't it? It's like, it's an extension of it. Mm-hmm. It's important to do that because it gives people something to latch onto. It gives people like a deeper insight into who you are and what you're all about. And then they can make up their own mind as to whether you're a good fit for them. Yeah. Because the added benefit of this to you as a business owner is that it filters out the people who are going to be nightmare clients for you. And again, I don't mean to suggest that just by sharing pictures of you and videos of your dog that you're going to weed out all the bad clients. But like, if you apply this concept on like a bigger scale and you start making your videos more, for want of a cliche, authentic, and you start, and it's very obvious what kind of person you are through your marketing, well, the people who like aren't cool with that and who are completely different types of people, they're probably not going to get in touch with you. They're probably not going to take it any further than that. Yeah. And some people might be like, oh God, but I want all the clients. Like, I want all the customers. No, you really don't. No. I think a lot more people get on board with this these days, but, you know, I still come across people who just want like absolute mass and volume and are quite willing to work with anyone. Well, don't, because it's a nightmare. It can be, and you don't want to work with anyone. And actually, we're kind of touching on a different subject here, but being somewhat like unobtainable or being outside the realms of someone to work with you can actually be favorable as well. If you only work with certain people, types of people, or whatever, that can actually be very attractive. It's a very attractive trait. But yeah, that's perhaps a different area. But.
Yeah, it's definitely like a pricing and positioning podcast that will definitely come in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please.
No, I'm just I'm thinking more on the like how to tell you more about, you know, them small videos that help build your brand and like why that might make a difference. You doing that compared to like another person doing the same like or similar business as you. So let's say Alex is going to do a promo video, as people always love to ask for their business, and he might go do this promo video for this one, for example, personal trainer, like we've mentioned again, and he'll go and do another promo video for another personal trainer, and you know, obviously there's going to be your like each business is going to have its own like features that they have a bit more. They're going to maybe sell to specific customers or clients, and like, you know, their personality is going to be in it. But if I see both of these promo videos and I just, for let's say business number one, all I see and all I know about this business is from this one video. But let's say business two has had, it's just got a lot more for me to see. So they've got this promo video, but then there's also, you know, some smaller videos, some snippets of that same video even. Like, that's a good way to repurpose, like, what, this video that you've paid for. If I can know more about the person running this business, so like, you know, like I know that they're into dogs, and I know that they're into, you know, cheat days, and I know that they're into certain things. Like, the very fact that I know more about that business than the other one will make me pick that business. Absolutely. Business one might actually have a lot more. They might like an animal that I prefer. They might be into horses, like
foxes.
And actually, so that would probably mean I would pick them, but they haven't shown me. They haven't put that on show, and so that's why I'm saying even these small videos do have purpose, like to just help and build your personal brand, and like they help push these other videos that you're using.
Really good point. Yeah, absolutely. Very good point, Naomi. No, thank you for bringing that up. I think even stuff as well, like, you know, if someone makes you laugh, you know, you feel so much more connected to them, and like you become a fan of what they do if they like consistently entertain you, which is prime content, you know, for the platforms like Instagram and stuff, where it's like very short and you can do it really easily, and we're not talking about like video production companies coming down and like taking over your business. This is the type of short super easy video that you don't have to think about that much, that you can do every day, that you should be doing pretty much every day. And perhaps, again, these are just examples. You don't have to be like an entertainer. Maybe your business is like more on the serious side of things and it's not appropriate. That's fine as well, but you can still get your personality in there. Yeah. You can still make it easy for people to know, like, and trust you, as we keep saying. That's that journey that you kind of always need to have at the forefront of your mind, I think. It's like, am I making this really easy for people? And it can be tough at first because, and I don't think I do this enough. I think, I do share videos of the cats and stuff now and again, but I could do it more. It's really easy for me to, but I think sometimes if you're wired up a certain way, if you think a certain way, then the first thing that comes into your mind is like, well, why would people care? Are people going to think I'm a dick by putting this video up? Because it doesn't really mean anything. It's not particularly helpful. It doesn't have loads of value or whatever. But actually, like, I would encourage you to think more. Well, it probably does. Assume that it does have value to someone, even if it is just the entertainment, or you get a bit of a laugh out of it, or it's like,
And you just need to be in front of people's eyes more, because coming from an algorithm perspective on social media, you see more of what you look for and what you do see. So you just need to be there doing something, to be coming up a bit more. And yes, if there is a little bit more value or entertainment or something in your video, then it's more likely that people will, stay and then want more rather than just, like swiping along. But you just need to at least be there, showing your face.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, types of videos like this that people could create today. You could, if you've got animals, get them on camera for sure. That'd be the easiest way, because then you don't even have to do much yourself. And it's a bit of a window into your life for sure. But, even if that's not applicable or appropriate or whatever, there's loads of things you can do.
Make it easy for yourself, something that you do regularly.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
it doesn't matter what it is, that can be your key thing. And but then if all of a sudden you throw something in that you don't do very often, then like your watcher is going to be like not less interested in it. But
yeah, just even like what you're doing that day. I think like for service providers, I think that's massively interesting, because it is going to be quite different every day, especially if you're working like one-to-one with people or in person with groups or whatever. Obviously with their permission and stuff, share what you just a really quick insight, like this is what we're doing today. Like today we're recording this podcast, we're recording the first few episodes in a little batch, so I did a little video and stuck it on Instagram. I was like, this is what we're doing, here's the setup, there we go. It took a minute to think about. And part of me, as I say, because I naturally think this way, was like, oh, but what if people don't care, and what if people think, I don't know, you're always worried of judgment, I think, is like a big thing. Again, certain people more than others, but I certainly do, so I can very much empathise with this. But, like, it doesn't matter. If someone doesn't like it or isn't interested, well, then they can bugger off and go and do something else. That's not up to you.
Because they're probably never going to be a client anyway.
Well, exactly, yeah. I often think as well, as I'm sure we all do, undoubtedly, compare myself to, like, my peers and like other people who are doing the same thing in my industry, and even like friends and stuff who have gone on to be camera guys and video guys elsewhere, and they're kind of always at the back of my mind when I'm posting stuff, and I'm like, oh, what are they going to think about this? Like, are they going to think that my video looks crap, or that the lighting's terrible, or that it could sound better and stuff? And like, I mean, when you say it out loud, like immediately my brain is just saying to me, that's ridiculous.
Of course they're not going to be thinking that, because actually they're going to be thinking what you're thinking themselves when they go to post their videos.
Yeah.
Like, people don't really care. People care about themselves.
No, exactly. Yeah. Which is, I think that's kind of the core message of this episode, is that stop caring so much about if you like me and you can, and this is the kind of thing that's stopping you from getting this really quick and easy content out there. To stop worrying about it and just do it a little bit more. And you will feel like a bit of a knob at first. You will, like, I mean, even us recording this podcast, it took us a few attempts to kind of find our voice, didn't it? And kind of get into a bit of a rhythm with it. And you have to accept, like, part of the creative process, as our good friend and client Simon Hartley says, is like you will throw away 99% of what you create. But I suppose the good thing these days about platforms like Instagram and Snapchat and even Facebook, where a lot of the content is ephemeral and has a lifespan, like quite a short lifespan, is that you can do stuff like that and not really worry about it too much. And you can just throw it up there, see what happens. And if it's terrible and if it's rubbish, well, it'll disappear in 24 hours anyway, so don't worry about it. Yeah. But if it doesn't, and if it might just be the thing that encourages someone to step over the line and get in touch with you, or follow you, sign up to a course, subscribe to your emails, buy something. Like, you don't know what it's going to be that's going to get someone over that line. Yeah. All you do know is that the more you do, and the better quality it is, and the more useful and valuable it is to people, the more likely that is to happen.
The more lines you throw out there, the more fish you're going to catch.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of like animal related things in this episode. No, that's cool. I think that's a good place to round off with. It's important to say that for certain videos, for a lot of videos in your system, assuming that you want to create different types of videos for different people and who are approaching your business from different platforms and stuff like that, which you should be doing, that a lot of this stuff does need planning, obviously. And you need to really start thinking about, okay, who's my customer? And where do they hang out? And what kinds of content are they really going to like? And if you're creating like a film of some description, something a bit more produced, maybe you're getting someone like ourselves to come down and produce it for you, or you just want to make something that's a bit more kind of grandiose than an Instagram story, for example, then you are going to have to do a bit more thinking, and you're going to have to look at the whole journey, and you're going to have to plan the content a lot more. But you don't have to do that all the time, for sure. You can, I think if you're going to do anything different today following this podcast, is just to kind of put yourself out there more and throw a bit more. We've said it before, but like, make sure your personality's there front and center. It's really easy for people to see what you're all about and to see what you're up to. Stop worrying about whether people care, because the people that don't care can go and do something else. That's up to them. And worst case scenario is you get someone commenting or whatever saying, calling you out on it. Well, again, this is probably going to happen. Anyone who's read any YouTube comments anywhere, anytime, will know that this is what happens. People somehow feel obligated to say if they don't like something, even if it's like not constructive. Yeah. But if you're in business, you have to have a thick skin anyway, because that's going to happen all the time. So
otherwise, the good stuff isn't going to come to you. If you don't bother putting anything out, you're not going to get the good stuff either.
Absolutely. So, yeah. That's so true. It's so true. And you might look back at the content you created this time last year and cringe. Like I do. I certainly do. And I mean, even my book, I'm still really proud of it, and I'm not going to like rush to change it. But if I did it now, I would do it differently. That's always going to be the case, isn't it? And for the more ephemeral content that doesn't last as long and is just kind of there to remind people that you exist, and just to kind of just serve as a little touch point for them that particular day, I think people need to stop worrying about it so much and just get it out there. So, cool. There we are. That's enough for this episode, I think. Nice one. Awesome. Thank you for your time, Gnomes. Good chat as always, and I think I'm going to keep the sign off the same as last time, seeing as though I mentioned it, and just encourage you, if you haven't already, to go and grab a copy of my book, Grow Your Business with Video, because in this, it's a bit of a quick A to Z of everything that you need to know to get started with properly marketing your business through effective video. There's some practical tips and tricks in there, so you can make videos with whatever equipment you've got. And then we talk about some of the subjects that we're mentioning on this podcast as well, the market and funnel, and using video as an asset, and personality, and those types of things as well. Comes with a video course as well, so the idea is that you learn from the book, and then you can see myself and Naomi putting these techniques into action, how to get certain, you can see it being put to good use so that you can copy it yourself, basically. So that's it from this episode. We'll see you in the next one. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Grow Your Business with Video podcast and that you're ready to take another step towards creating truly effective video. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review so that we can help even more people. For everything else, you can find us at artifactmedia.co.uk. Thanks for listening. See you next time.